Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to a new edition of Success Stories conducted by Empower India Foundation. In this series, we feature organizations working for the empowerment of the community. Today, we have with us Mr. Amin Mudassar, one of the founders, trustees of Lead Trust, Bengaluru. Lead Trust is working in the field of education for the last 12 years. Although Mr. Amin is an engineer by profession, he is a passionate career counselor, a social entrepreneur, and a motivational speaker. He has featured in many TV shows as a career expert, and he's a career columnist in major newspapers as well. Let us welcome Mr. Amin Mudassar to our program. Assalamu alaikum, Amin Saab.
Alaikum assalam. Thank you very much for having me here. And it really feels nice to be on the success story series. Thank you very much.
We are very happy, Amin Saab, to have you here today with us. And as we know, Lead Trust is doing commendable work in the field of education for last more than around 10-15 years, I believe. So, and as an engineer and an IT professional, how do you happen to start such an initiative?
Well, Lead Trust, the genesis was formed in 2009, and the credit for this should go to our chief mentor, Mr. Sharif Kotapurat, who is the former chief technology officer of Sun Microsystems. During that period, between 2005 and 2010, I mean, most of us were passionately doing many things. Like I'm part of Sigma, and we were doing career guidance. Likewise, many professionals in Bangalore were part of doing a lot of good things, especially helping children to become more good in their studies, doing career guidance programs, several things. So in 2009, it so happened that our chief mentor, Mr. Sharif Kotapurat, he went to Guwahati to drop his son, who had got admission to IIT. And on the way back, he dropped into Patna, and he went to the very famous Rahmani 30 initiative, which was started by late Maulana Rahmani Saab, and who heads the Rahmani Foundation. So when he went and saw that Rahmani 30 was doing a great job of identifying the poor and the bright Muslim kids, especially from Bihar, Orissa, Kolkata. And in turn, they were inspired by the Super 30 model. Most of us know the Super 30 Anand Sharma thing. He came back and he called a meeting. Whoever he knew were passionate about education, passionate about how can we help the community get into premier institutions. Because, such a committee report had come out by then. 2000, it was almost 10, no, it was 2006, the committee report had come, and they had strongly told that the percentage of Muslims is minimal in so many areas. And when we look at the IITs, IIMs, it was even more lesser. I mean, the number is always in a single digit. So he got all of us, a couple of us, like Muhammad Ali Sharif, who is IIM Bangalore, IIM Ahmedabad pass out and Harvard pass out. Then Tanveer Ahmed, who is a very popular social entrepreneur. Then Hassan Ali, Riaz. Then Professor Ashraf Ali sir, who was the principal of Al-Amin College. So a group of nine people who are passionate about the community, passionate already into doing activities, came together, and he proposed that why not we start the Rahmani 30 model in Bangalore? Why don't we do something where we can get students across South India? And that's how Lead Trust actually got conceptualized. And in October 2009, we became a formal trust, Lead Trust. And today, alhamdulillah, it's been almost 13 years that we are a trust.
What is the vision that was set by Lead Trust?
At that time, we were completely focused on putting our kids, uh, LEAD itself is an expansion of learners excellence and academic learners excellence and academic development, okay, trust. So we focused on excellence, and we wanted to make sure that the especially, we were more concerned about how the poor Muslim students who could not get the required financial support or the ecosystem, they are identified, and they are made to get into premier institute, because we always believe that a lot of potential is there in the poor segment. So from the day one, the focus was to identify the most deserving, the most poor. And of course, we didn't say that if somebody is well off, we'll deny you what we're doing. But what we found is the vision continues from the day one, is to identify the most talented with the most challenging circumstances, be given an opportunity or supported to study in India's premier institutes. So that is our vision. And our focus has been primarily on IITs.
IITs, I see. What are the activities that you do actually, part of this?
So when we started in 2009, we were very clear that we want to send our boys and girls to IIT. So in 2010, we launched our Lead Talent Search exam, LTSC, which is a very popular exam now in the entire country. And through this exam, what we do is we identify the students through the entrance exam. And then before we have the exam, we have a tie-up with premier institutions in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, who are offering coaching for the premier entrance exams. Currently, we are not only getting to IIT, but also NEET, because NEET also has seen a huge demand. And all of us know in the last 5 years how NEET has become an extremely fought, fierce battle exam at the national level. So our main activity is conducting this exam, where we tie up with partner colleges, and we have an agreement with the partner college that through this exam, once we find a student who is extremely smart, capable to crack the IIT or NEET, and also has a very difficult background, economic background is difficult, you need to give us 100% discount fee on the fees. So if a student directly goes to an institute, they may not offer him this fees. But if a student comes via Lead Trust, because Lead Trust has proved in the last 12 years that it is able to get the best coaching for the students, because we speak to the partner colleges that, look, at the end, you need to get extremely hardworking, smart boys and girls, because you need to get a very good result. Okay. So we are trying to meet the demand and supply gap. The demand the students have is, we want quality coaching. And the demand the institutes have is, we want quality students. So we are a catalyst. We neither take anything nor we don't add anything nor take away. We just come in, we conduct the exam, we conduct the interviews, and it's a very transparent and fair process. Say, for example, this year we have already got about 3,000 students who have written our lead exam. So we will be having the interviews, and in the interview, once we have an interview center, so a student will be interviewed by more than one partner college, and each partner college will give their best offers. Somebody will say, we'll give you 100% fee waiver plus free hostel, because they want that student, and that student is smart. So we do a filtration in the colleges also. Many colleges approach us to be partners, but we don't agree to everybody. We have a criteria of selecting these partner colleges, and based on their criteria, we select the colleges. And in this process, Alhamdulillah, if I put the data of last 3 years, we have facilitated scholarships worth 18 crores in the last 3 years. Like, if you put all the offers put together, the offers by the colleges, okay, and then we don't force the student to join any particular college, because we always believe people, the kind of age group we are dealing, they are quite matured enough, and even their parents are quite matured enough, so they take their decision to join the institute they favor. So LTSC is our flagship thing. We started with LTSC. In 2012, we tied up with the Minority Welfare Department to conduct the entrance exams across Karnataka for the free UPSC KPSC coaching by the Government of Karnataka Minority Welfare Department. So from 2012, 2013, 2014, for 3 years, we were the official NGO which organized the test uh, for the department. Of course, we were paid for that, and we ensured that the right candidates were interviewed, and these candidates were later, recommended to the department. There was a process in which the department was also involved, and this we did for about 3 years. Apart from that, LEAD has, in tie-up with Sigma, organized the South India NGOs conference, because LEAD used to have like, I'm part of both LEAD Trust and Sigma. So what happens is a lot of our coordinators sink in. I mean, we have one coordinator who handles LEAD initiatives also, Sigma initiatives also. So we kind of, like, thought in 2012 that let's have a meet of all these people who were coordinating our exam, who were coordinating our activities across the state. But then the thought came that why don't we extend it to the entire state, entire southern part of India. And so that led to South India NGOs conference, which started in 2012. Alhamdulillah, from 2012 till 2019, till the pandemic hit, successfully we have conducted 8 NGO conferences, which have led to phenomenal outcomes, and many NGOs took wings from there. They went on to take up big initiatives, do projects, and they learned a lot, because we firmly believe that at the end of the day, the most important thing is sharing the right knowledge with the NGOs and empowering them. So we also started an initiative on journalism last year. It was in tie-up with St. Joseph's College. Unfortunately, this was right before the pandemic. Yeah, this was right before the pandemic, and we started. But unfortunately, Father Pinto, who was the main coordinator from the St. Joseph's College side, he passed away in COVID second wave. So we are trying to revive that. We still want to, have this journalism course of 1 year, 6 months, so that we prepare candidates who can get into mainstream journalism, put in their best effort despite all the challenges that we see today.
It's very nice to know about the NGO conference. I'm sure a lot of people would have benefited from that, and it's really nice to share and create this ecosystem. And definitely, when you start such a venture, such an initiative, so many activities going on, you might have faced many challenges and hurdles, I believe. Or was it a smooth sailing? If you have those, happen to have, can you share those things and how you overcome those challenges?
Challenges come in different formats in different times. So sometimes one challenge we faced during our initial 2 years was the challenge to raise the required finances to run our IIT program. Like LTSC, we did in 2010. We identified 13 boys who were good to go for IIT coaching. And at that time, we had announced it completely free. So we didn't charge anything from the students, except for, I think, 1 or 2 students whose parents realized that, we guys are doing something good, and they actually, gave some amount of support for that. So that costed us almost 2 to 2.5 lakhs per student. So like, if we are having 13 kids, the whole budget went around 25 to 30 lakhs. There are so many things, because the first batch of lead scholars, they were with us. Like, we tied up with Al-Amin College, and we tied up with we had kept them in a hostel, and we tied up with a premium coaching center, Time. And Time was charging us the typical market rates, despite, of course, they would have given us discount that time. So that was a very successful model. Out of the 13, 4 of them cracked and 4 became IITians. So, but subsequently, the same batch, there were repeaters, like 4 got through in the first batch. In the next year, that number doubled. So totally out of 13, we can say 8 of them became IITians. The best thing is when we kept them in a hostel and we had this, we as trustees, especially our trustee Tanveer Ahmad and Riaz, they built a very strong bond with these trainees. They used to go and hang around with them like elder brothers, and not talking about academics, because the academics was taken care by cat. We didn't have to build a cat. The cat took care of their academics. Sorry, time took care of their academics. So we felt that when you have a residential model and you groom them on moral values. Like we can proudly say that 2 of our students who became IITians are now trustees with us. I mean, Alhamdulillah. I mean, that is something, we, everybody dreams that, a beneficiary goes on to do something big. So today, Ashfaq Ahmed and Ghazi Sabiuddin, these 2 boys, I mean, they are hardly about 26, 27 now. And they, mashallah, they ran this year's LTSE exam for us. The exam which they gave in 2010, they were students who had given 10th exam. In 2022, they are organizing it. So we kind of like, feel happy that by doing that residential model, we were able to groom them to become leaders for the future. They were able to take responsibility because, we have also grown old by another 13, 14 years. But the challenge was again, we couldn't sustain that model because of fundraising problem. We couldn't raise the sufficient funds for that. So fundraising was a challenge. Then, of course, handling boys, handling their hostel will always be a challenge, because that age is quite exciting, and they do listen. I mean, they do listen. I think we were all prepared, and most of us were quite experienced in our team, so we knew how to take challenges in our stride, and we took it, except for this financial challenge. Otherwise, probably we could have had a model like how Rahmani 30 does today. Today, Rahmani 30 has centers across India, and they have so many students. So we are not in a competition with anybody. Our purpose is very clear. We should put, and now since our model is completely like, we identify students and give them to partner colleges. We say, okay, the colleges have the infrastructure, let the college do it. Now, why should we take the whole burden of giving them coaching there? So this way, it also led to a lot of partner colleges becoming more popular in their geography. And it's a win-win-win situation. It's a win situation for students because they get the best college. It's a win situation for partner college because they get the bright students. It's a win situation for lead because lead has just got to conduct the exam. And Alhamdulillah, by Allah's grace, the trust people have in lead trust is really big. People do look up to lead trust because they have seen that we genuinely, I mean, none of us have any personal interest in this. It's not our business. It's purely a public charitable trust registered with 12A ATG. All our funding is very simple. We don't raise even funds also. Our focus is do this exam, find the bright kids, put them into the best places.
And what do you think in the future? How do you move ahead? Or do you have some new plans?
Well, we always wanted to work on creating a leadership module. What we mean by leadership is people who are going to be responsible, people, students who are going to become big in their respective careers. So we have plans to conduct boot camps on leadership, so that very young, while they are in their high school or college, they should be able to realize that why they need to be leaders and what is the process of becoming a leader, and creating the leadership material in them over a period of time. The leadership training programs is one thing. Second thing is we do intend to conduct, have a teachers conference, or try to do something in teacher training, because what we have also realized is a lot of talent in schools is identified directly by a teacher. So we do one exam. What if we train teachers on identifying talent, encourage teachers on keeping aware of how students are performing, and how can we train teachers to connect the dots. Because if we tell probably information what we have, if we give it to teachers, it will be more into a system. That's the other thing. And of course, journalism and mass media, lawyers, we also intend to encourage more students to take up the common law admission test, CLAT. We did attempt in 2012. We had a tie-up with a career launcher, but unfortunately, this thing of engineering and medicine still continues to rule
Yeah.
the mind of the common man. So that couldn't fly off as the IIT thing flew. I mean, even today, people want to contact lead for IIT and NEET, but not for CLAT. So maybe in the next 2-3 years, we will break that and try to do something for CLAT also.
I'm sure in the leadership you will be giving more on, or focusing a little bit on the values part also, because we train students, they become, they reach some higher positions, but they should have the values which is lacking in the society, which is, we have competition, we have everything, but at the same time, we need to, the society as a whole is losing the value system that the old generation was having. So I think that is very important also to have a country which is amicably living with one another, sharing their everything. So they should have this bhaichara or brotherhood sort of thing also with them, which we are losing very fast actually. So very happy to know that all these activities that you're doing and the results that it's generating. And I surely believe that through this NGO conference, probably that is one place where this is being transmitted to other parts of the country, because you are normally focusing on the southern region, and definitely I believe many NGOs are participating from the northern region as well in your NGO conferences, in taking away the results and the good work that you have been doing. And definitely we'll also like to be part of this NGO conference whenever it's being held next time, inshallah. And we'd like to know what are the activities that different NGOs are doing, the results they're generating, the sharing. I think that's very important to have this sharing. And normally we have this feeling, the community has this feeling of that we are backward. We are, always we have this negative thing that is haunting us. We need to, the main aspect, one of the aspects of the success story series is to tell people, okay, we are doing very good. So many people are doing a lot of activities. We need to be in a positive mindset. We can do so many things, and we can definitely make the change. So, would you like to add something as a concluding remark or note or a message?
My first message would go out to all the professionals there who are happily settled. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed you with everything. Please take out some time out of your schedule, because one realization that each one of us got through Lead Trust and by interacting with so many students who are poor is the community at large does not have direct motivation. So if every professional can take out at least 2 hours weekly or fortnightly or monthly, and in that 2 hours contribute their intellectual stuff, that will add immense value. Because today we have people who will give you donation. You ask 10,000, you get 10,000. You ask 1 lakh, you get 1 lakh. But Allah has blessed you with so much of hikmah, so much of knowledge, and trust people. I mean, you may have bad experiences, you may see a lot of people doing, but don't do it for the sake of, I still believe that I don't do anything for the sake of anybody. I do it because I am answerable to my Lord and I need to do what I can. So my first request to all professionals is, please identify your core competency. It could be anything. And if you can go out and address students in the schools, go to your neighborhood school. It could be any school. I'm not talking about any particular community as such. Go to any school, government school, private school, just 2 hours, but add value, because I'm sure there is somebody waiting for you in their life to come and make a difference. The second thing is, talent is always hidden. It has to be discovered. So NGOs who will be watching this video, my request to all the NGOs is, please start a talent hunt in your own district, in your own taluk. Have something called as your taluk star performers. Okay, super 10, super 50. Okay, diamonds of Bengaluru. Give some name, because between the age of 14 and 19, 14 and 18, 13 to 18, sorry, the teenage, prime teenage, that's when we can mold the youngsters. They will truly believe us as long as we give what they need them. So if LEAD can do on a pan India basis or South India basis and do something, please do. There is so much of talent hidden, and everybody is just waiting for them to be discovered. And finally, we all have a single lifetime. Let's do our best. Let's contribute ourselves, because today, when we look back, we feel somewhere, at least we contributed to 8 IITs joining. I didn't go to IIT. I mean, most of our trustees didn't went to IIT. Of course, we have people who have gone to BITS, Pilani, NITs and all. But the fact is, we need to do something. And, as people who are blessed with knowledge, immense, we have more to give. Let's not stop our charity at 2.5% zakat. Our charity has to be we should even give zakat of the wisdom Allah has given us, the knowledge that is given to us, because that goes beyond imagination. I can give 2,500 to a person, he may buy a bag of rice and that gets over in 2 months. What if I give 2.5% of my knowledge? 2.5% of my knowledge can become 2.5 million person for somebody. It can multiply like anything. So that's my final message.
Thank you so much, Shami Nehmud, for your wise words, inspiring talk. Definitely, I feel that it's more important that instead of giving charity and money and all, it's more that you give your heart, your time, your effort, and that will definitely bring the change. As Allah mentioned, "Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim." It's the attitude that we change, the time that we, more than anything else. So once you put in your effort, definitely there will be a lot of help, guidance, and madad from Allah Ta'ala, inshallah. And we hope and pray that your activities grow further, it inspire more people, and more people are brought forward into these activities. And thank you so much once again. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.